The 15-yard line right there is where it happened. J.T. Barrett made that first down against Michigan a year ago on 4th and 1. Michigan people, I think it's a little bit reasonable for them to be hung up on the spot a little bit still. Does that make sense to you, Bill?
Yeah, think about how much it changed for them. They were on the path to go to the Big Ten championship and then possibly the playoff, and then an inch, less than an inch, kept them from doing that. So, yeah, I get being hung up on it.
Do you think this will be something, Tim, that Michigan fans will talk about for a long time, that spot?
Believe so. It's like Bill said, it cost them a chance to go to the Big Ten title game, possibly the playoff, and Ohio State wins the game on the very next play.
So what if things had gone differently, though? What if Ohio State hadn't made that first down and the spot had been a little bit different? So right there's where it happened. J.T. Barrett stopped just short of the first down marker, and Urban Meyer, I think, absorbed probably the most difficult loss of his Ohio State career. Number 3 Michigan beats number 2 Ohio State 27-24. Bill, Michigan is going to the Big Ten championship, and it looks like Michigan's going to have a great shot to make the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, we wondered when they hired Jim Harbaugh how long it would take for Michigan to get on Ohio State's level, to be top dog in the Big Ten, to be a championship contender in this conference and join Ohio State, and it's happened. It took 2 years, and Jim Harbaugh got them there. They played a heck of a game. They beat Ohio State in Ohio Stadium. Him and Urban Meyer now even 1-1, and now you wanted to know if there would be 2 top teams in the Big Ten, and there are. Right now, Michigan's top.
Ari, Ohio State was on path for its own playoff bid potentially if they had managed to win this game. A furious comeback that falls short, but when you fall behind this much at home against your rival, what does this say about Urban Meyer? Is this sort of a black mark on Urban Meyer in this season when you allow this game, this loss to Michigan, to go this way?
Ohio State, you have to remember, has been in close games a lot this previous year, and they have almost lost games they shouldn't have lost. And I think right now, this is the version of Ohio State in rebuilding mode. They have a young team. They have a lot of people coming back the next year, and I think that they're trying to assess what it's going to be in the future. So I think the playoff might have been a little bit of a goal that was too high even for this team because, again, this is Ohio State's version 2 losses in the regular season. I think you take that in a down year. What I think the bigger issue for Ohio State is at this point right now is that Michigan is going to be here to stay, and getting to the Big Ten championship and getting into the playoff is going to be a harder path now that Ann Arbor's back on track.
You know, you wonder even if this maybe is some would say a blessing in disguise for Ohio State. They lost to Penn State and Michigan in the same year. But if this Ohio State team had gone to the playoff, I mean, what if they would have gone to the playoff and gotten shut out or something? You know, like, you don't know what would have happened to Ohio State. But I feel like you come back next year with the Buckeyes, you're going to have a more veteran team. You have another year of Ed Warner and Tim Beck getting this offense rolling. In the end, I guess they'll recover from this. But, by the way, is it also possible that Ohio State is now the 3rd best team in the Big Ten East? They lost to Penn State and Michigan in the same year. We see what James Franklin is doing. We see what Jim Harbaugh is doing. Is that possible, Ari?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, what's the number one thing that judges football teams and programs? Wins and losses. They've lost both games now. So Ohio State might not be at that 2014 level. I think they might have had a chance to be an Alabama-type program in 2015, and they let that slip. So now you have 2 consecutive years of not reaching the standard. Moving forward now, if you have 2 programs that are recruiting at a high level in Penn State and Michigan, Ohio State's going to have a hard track at dominating a conference that it's been dominating for the last 15 years.
Possible, Bill, that they're 3rd in their own division?
Yeah, I mean, it feels kind of crazy to say. The Penn State loss was a little fluky. I'm not 100% ready to say that Penn State is better than Ohio State, but I'm pretty ready to say that Michigan is at least on par with Ohio State. They recruit similarly. Jim Harbaugh is a great coach. This is not going to be a one-off. This game's going to be like this every year moving forward, and now we know. People wondered if there was something working against Michigan or whether or not they could ever beat Ohio State again. They just did it.
You can't imagine. I mean, to think about where we'll be a year from now, how angry Ohio State's going to be going to Ann Arbor in 2017, trying to avenge this loss. You think about it, it's an inch. It's an inch, man, and I think Ohio State fans are going to be talking about this spot for a very long time. So we will be probably in the Orange Bowl, we think. Probably Ohio State, Florida State. We're not sure. We know Ohio State's not going to the playoff, but I can guarantee the 3 of us will be back next year in 2017 going to Ann Arbor to see what happens if the Buckeyes can avenge this devastating loss here to Michigan, 27-24 in double overtime in Ohio Stadium. For Ari and Bill, I'm Doug. Thanks for watching at cleveland.com. So that's the difference that an inch can make, right? I mean, we talk about it all the time in sports, but literally that's the difference that an inch made in the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, right, Bill?
It changed the course of 3 programs, the 2 that played in here and then Penn State. Because Ohio State won this game, Penn State got to go to the Big Ten championship, then go to the Rose Bowl and set the course for this season, where everyone thought they were going to be one of the best teams in the country. People think Jim Harbaugh is like a bad coach now because he hasn't beaten Ohio State yet, and they didn't get to the playoff last year when they had a team that was good enough to go there. So yeah, it was an inch that changed a lot.
Tim, how much do you think different it would be for Ohio State if they were sitting here having lost to Michigan last year and getting ready for this game? If they were trying to, we saw them avenge the Penn State loss this year. If they were now getting ready to try to avenge a Michigan loss,
I think there would probably been some questions about Urban Meyer. 2 years in a row, you're expecting to make the playoff, you don't get there, and it's losses late in the season that really hurt him. It was Michigan State in 2015, it was Penn State last year, and it could have been Michigan last year again that kept them out. I think there would have been start to have some serious questions we had after the Iowa loss, if whether Urban Meyer had lost his edge, except it would have been 10 months earlier we'd be starting to ask that question.
So if you're an Ohio State fan and you see a Michigan fan this week complaining about the spot, just imagine if it had gone the other way and how you'd be feeling right now as a Buckeye fan. He's Tim. He's Bill. I'm Doug. More coverage all week at cleveland.com.